Well, fellas, look, I haven't had your views on it yet, so let me start with asking you, Darren's a Fleet Street man, to reflect on a column I read by Patrick Barkley today in the Evening Standard. He says, we've wasted the last 10 years and £60 million on trying to buy success by employing foreigners. What do you think of that one?
I think it's a good point, well made. I mean, if you look at Fabio Capello, £24 million. We've spent £6 million a year since 2008. Are we really that further forward than we were when we employed him? I don't think so. When you look at
I think we've gone backwards.
I think you're right. I think, and you know, you are a man who's worked in the corridors of power. You know all about. You've worked at the FA. Let's not beat about the bush. And all the joking aside, you know how difficult these decisions are to take. But I think the FA have taken the right decision by getting rid of him, because we have not made any progress under him. Svenja and Eriksson, he came in and he got us to major tournaments, but they were a minimum requirement, such as a minimum requirement to get us to World Cups and European Championships. What the real test is, how we do when we get there. And we were poor. The 0-0 draw against Algeria was one of the worst England performances I've ever seen. I think it was the right thing to get rid of him for all sorts of reasons that we'll discuss later on.
Absolutely. But you're staggering around South Africa trying to hide away the flag of St George. You didn't feel proud about it at all. There were other countries there from Africa and places like that doing a lot better than we were. Leroy, it's the issue, this is the issue, an Englishman playing for a foreign manager. Where is the beating heart of nationality that should drive you on to, you know, greater efforts and greater ambitions and greater resilience to try and do it?
I thought it was a joke. I just couldn't believe it when he couldn't speak English. It's a nonsense. The first requirement of an England manager is to communicate. You're not out on the training ground too often. When you get those players in there, you want to be having a little word near here, a little word there, talking to the media, dealing with the media, and he couldn't speak English. It's a nonsense. And I don't blame it on Fabio Capello. I don't blame it on him. I blame it on the hierarchy. But they've stepped forward in my estimation. They've stepped up to the plate. They've shown leadership on the John Terry issue, which I think was absolutely right. And they've shown leadership here, and it's brought the country forward. It's brought the country together.
I totally agree. Do you know what? A strange thing is, Harry Redknapp's been through this dreadfully stressful court case. It's been hanging around 5 years. But do you know what? Harry Redknapp, during the course of that court case, upon which he was exonerated of all criminal misdeeds, has actually illustrated to the English-speaking public the sort of communicator you've got to be able to be the boss of the national team. Because some of the things that he said from the witness box himself, some of the little nuances, some of the jokes, some of the quips, it shows you he's a real communicator. And you've just said that you've got to be a communicator to be a manager.
Absolutely, but I didn't say you have to be English. I don't agree that you have to be English. And I look at Steve McLaren, we jumped into Steve McLaren. I want the best man for the job who's the best communicator. And at that moment in time, for me, it's Harry Redknapp. And that's why I want him in the job. If it was Mourinho, if it was Wenger, and they were ready to come to the job, I'd have them as well, because they're good managers and good communicators.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I
wouldn't.
This is going to be a really lively show, because already I disagree with you both.
Right. Go on. Why are you giggling about me illustrating Harry's ability to communicate from witness box?
Well, I mean, I think that's neither here nor there, really.
Of course, it's here or there.
I think it's a nuance, but I don't think it's a fundamental basis on which to choose an England manager.
Well, I'm sorry, but it helps. It illustrates just how far away we were from communicating with Capello. Please go on.
Look, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. When he came in, he looked to be a good appointment. We can't suddenly dismiss what he has achieved in club football. He is one of the winning most managers in club football. He's
not at international level.
Well, no. But what I'm saying is, when he arrived, he looked to be a good appointment. So we can't suddenly say because he's been bad over the last 5 years, he was a joke appointment.
No, I said at the time I thought it was a joke appointment, because then when he went to the press conference, he couldn't speak English.
Yeah, but I don't think it makes him a joke appointment. There have been other managers whose English has been poor.
As an ex-manager,
Carlo Ancelotti goes into Chelsea. His English wasn't brilliant, and he won the double.
No, but he learned English very quickly.
Well, he did. But what I'm saying is, when he arrived, he didn't have any English.
But the point that Leroy's making, and I'm making, is this, Darren. It was upon Mr. Capello to try much harder to speak English in the 4 years he was here.
I just think
I take it as a personal insult as an Englishman that he chose not to become fluent in our language.
Mike, I think we risk becoming a slightly xenophobic.
No, you can say it if you want, but I'm not saying that. No, I'm sorry, Darren. I'm not going to be accused of being xenophobic. Not for one moment.
I think
what, to say the English manager should speak English?
No. But I'm sorry. What I'm saying is,
I resent you saying that.
If you have somebody come into this country and actually achieve not only winning the title but winning the double without being able to speak the language on his arrival.
No, he learnt the language when he got here.
You can't turn around to say to every other person, you cannot take a job here if you can't speak English.
No. Did it become a problem with the media that he couldn't communicate?
It wasn't so much a problem. I mean,
we
managed to.
I heard David Bernstein in that press conference today. I said, "How did you get on with Fabio?" And he said, "Well, we got by."
Yeah.
You don't get by. You don't get by. And that's not being xenophobic.
Why did Adrian Bennington decide to take Italian lessons when Fabio arrived? It was so he could communicate them in Italian. And by the way, Darren, can I just point this out? When you talk about club managers going there, not English, not every player at Chelsea was English by any means. So he was communicating with some of his players in his own native language, which is a huge difference.
All I'm saying is this. If you have a precedent, which is obviously Carlo Ancelotti, you can't turn around and say, he was a joke appointment, or
I thought it was a nonsense. I thought it was nonsense. But I thought Sven Goran Eriksson, I thought it was a good appointment because he could communicate. I think the first thing you wanted to do is get a relationship with the supporters and the media as an England manager. It's the most. I think it's the most vital point. I think it's not even important in terms of your coaching ability, but to have a relationship with the media, and that's why Harry is the right person.
I totally agree,
and that's why people felt alienated. It wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault.
Sorry to interrupt you. I was going to say that I think Harry is the right appointment, but not for those reasons.
One of the reasons.
It's one of the reasons, but I think that he's been poor in the job, but I don't think he's a poor club manager. And I think that when he arrived...
I didn't say that.
No.
Never said that.
What I'm saying is, when he arrived, he appeared to have the credentials, just as Harry Redknapp does now.
I don't think he did, because you didn't speak English, and I'm sorry. I know you. I don't know where you get xenophobia from.
I think you're wrong, Mike.
Well, I'm sorry, if you can't communicate with the people that you're working to in any business, it's not going to work.
When he arrived, all the players were sort of saying, oh, he's got a great pedigree, he's got a great reputation, and it looked so promising. So for us to turn around, I mean, you know, I just think it's unfair to him. And trust me, I'm not his biggest fan by any stretch of the imagination. But it's unfair to him to say, because he didn't speak English, he was a joke appointment.
Well, no, I didn't say that.
You know what? I think the FA went out of their way to appoint a foreign manager. I think they wanted to be trendy. And I think it started with Sven Goran Eriksson. When Kevin Keegan quit in the bathroom at the old Wembley Stadium, the last time England ever played there, right? Within minutes, it was, we're on the phone to Sven Goran Eriksson. Why? Well, you know, Sven's a great international coach. They wanted to get trendy. The trendiness extended to Mr. Crozier, who's the chief executive, decided not to wear a tie. So you're not wearing a tie tonight. Next time I'm in the studio, I'd like to wear a tie.
I've got to totally disagree with you there. It wasn't trendy. I think they wanted to get the best man for the job. That was the criteria. On paper, Fabio Capello is the best man for any job. But I think for the England job, and it's not, I didn't say it was a joke appointment. I said it was nonsense.
No, you did say it was a joke appointment.
Nonsense. My word was nonsense because he couldn't communicate. And the media is a massive part of the England job, and he's working with English players. And I think that if you want to get your ideas across in a short space of time, not just to the players, but to the media as well, who in the end got on his back, let's be honest, got on his back very, very quickly, which I thought was unfair to him. It wasn't his fault. And I think that put him on the back foot because he couldn't communicate. There are people taking the mickey out of him after his post-match press conferences, taking the mickey out of him because he couldn't do it in English.
That's right.
Totally unfair to the man.
Stay ahead of the game with Sports Tonight Live. Don't miss a thing. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Search for Sports Tonight Live on Facebook and like our fan page. Follow Sports Tonight TV on Twitter and tweet us your thoughts and opinions. Sports Tonight Live, it's the platform for the fans.